Hey Collective, Christina here, Ginger Mama. I hope you're having a great day. That devil, that Five of Pentacles coming out. I'm going to talk about dream downloads. Again, Spirit has been like rapid fire with me. I always dream, but the amount of dreams are almost hard to keep up with, but they are spot on with collective energy right now, so I'm going to share. This one was what they wanted shared first and foremost today. I'll be filtering through the other notes over the coming days to see which other ones. But here's the deal. Last night, there was a group of people. It appeared that most of these people, I would say, okay, for starters, let's start with the girl in the dream. She was somewhere between the age of 18 and I'd say 26, 25, okay? She had more light hair, like blonde maybe, potentially light brown, but I wasn't paying as much attention to that, but it was long hair, if that means anything. And she was with a group of people that I felt like were her parents and her parents' friends, potentially like an uncle, things like that. But there were not many other people like her age. And I happened to be there. Why? God, here's why. So I'm there, and suddenly we're like put in this scene. It's like an outdoor patio. It feels like a bar, right, of sorts. And the older people in the group, you know, are like, oh yeah, we're all gonna order drinks, we're gonna hang out on the patio and this and that. And I make the comment to them nicely. I'm like, hey, that's cool. Maybe we could grab a drink here. I said, but would anyone, like, should we go back to someone's house? Like, we're not far. And I remember saying that. So maybe you live really close to a group of people like this, or in the same community, or your family lives close. But it didn't feel like a travel trip or anything. And I said, you know, drinks are really expensive right now. And I said, we could get like the same case of beer and just share that with all of us, like on someone's patio or something. I was like, whatever we want to do. And they were all like kind of rolling their eyes, like, whatever, Christina, like, no, we're staying here. And I was like, oh, like, we like the atmosphere. I was like, oh, well, we're just sitting outside. Like, we're not even doing anything, but okay, like, not my choice. Okay. So then I look over and this girl is suddenly like away from the group and she's just screaming, and she was by a tree. And I reflected on this for a while with Spirit, and I'm very confident this person is likely an earth sign. Okay. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I felt like that was why the tree was very relevant. Trees can mean other things, but for some reason that seemed really pertinent. This person's an earth sign. Okay. And they were screaming, they were upset, they were verbally yelling at like another table, and the waiter or waitress, like they weren't moving quick enough, serving them fast enough. So I didn't quite know what was going on. Like, I didn't know if this girl was drinking already. I didn't know if, like, I was just curious. Like, I shouldn't get myself in trouble by asking, but it's okay. So I walk over to her in the dream. And I'm like, hold on. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't just like yell at random people like this. She's like, yeah, but we deserve to be served first. And like, my family always gets served first. And like, this is how this goes, and blah, blah, blah. And like, and I was like, okay, calm down. Let's talk to your family. And I remember saying something to her to the effect of like, does your family yell? She's like, oh yeah, all the time. Like, since I was a child, like they always yell at home. She's like, they act nice when they're in public, but like they've screamed at us since we were kids. Like, they're always shitty at home. And I was like, okay, you know, says a lot. And meanwhile, I want to point out that the person I think was her mother definitely had one of those like resting bitch faces. She was like really put together, but she kind of had this attitude. I wouldn't say she was like overweight, but like she's a little overweight. Like, it gave an attitude of like not liking pretty people, not happy with herself, this and that. Just like, you know the type, guys. So I walk back over to begin talking with her mother and I'm telling her, I'm like, calm down. We got to address this. And her mother's like, I'm like, well, is it true that you guys grew up like yelling all the time at home? Like, do you always yell at her? And like, now she's upset and this is how you treat other people, or you have? And she's like, it doesn't matter. We all were yelled at. We all got over it. Like, we're adults and she needs to grow up. And I'm not like, I'm going to let him take it from here. When she says him, I don't know if this is the uncle, the grandfather, or her father, okay? I'm going to assume her father, but for some reason I want to point that out. So I go to say something like, what are you doing? You can't just take that or cut her off or whatever, because he's doing these things with papers and things like this. And he's like, yeah, we can. She's over 18. I don't give a shit anymore. Not our responsibility. And the girl, I look at her, I'm like, oh, you're over 18. And she's like, well, yeah, like, why does that matter? Like, I got this sense that maybe she lived with them still, things like that. And the weirder part here is this male figure gets into what I believe is her car, her vehicle, right? We could look at this as her personal space. I had not seen this car until this moment. And he takes a screwdriver and starts to uninstall the steering wheel. Okay, he didn't ask for keys or anything like that. He's undoing the steering wheel. Now, steering wheels in dreams represent the control we have over controlling our own life path. Okay, and so it was very symbolic that he was removing that. And you could argue that maybe he thought she needed to steer her own life. I don't know. But then he proceeds to like sit there, set his phone up as though he's doing like a TikTok or something. And he's got 5 boxes of Rice-A-Roni. Rice-A-Roni was specific. And he's like, it was like the words were coming on the screen like a TikTok. And I haven't seen this, so I don't know. Maybe there are people doing this. But he said, this is what we're doing to teach her a lesson. We're taking everything, and she'll have to pick herself up by her bootstraps like I did. And, she's going to have 5 boxes of Rice-A-Roni, and she'll be just fine because we're not going to be accused of doing anything wrong in her life, and she'll just learn. And I was like, okay. And this girl's starting to freak out. And I'm like, calm down. Technically, they can do this. Technically. I'm not saying it's right? And it got weird because then I'm trying to say to him, like, did anyone help you out? And he's like, that's besides the point. I did what I was supposed to do. So in essence, I was getting the sense that he had been helped after 18 in some financial way by his own parents at some point. He refused to talk about that, refused to address that, and basically said he deserved that because he conformed. But this daughter, niece, granddaughter was not conforming. So he was stripping her of all money, all property, anything except for the 5 boxes of rice. And then I woke up. They act so nice, don't they? But they got all these hidden addictions and they're shitty behind closed doors, and they want control over their adult children. And so it was strange. And I want to point out that the reason I feel like this is significant is if you are someone who has issues with your family, I'm not saying go conform and act like you're not who you are. Like, I think that's a horrible idea. I think you'll end up blowing up inside. That's what happens to most people. That's a form of manipulation and abuse. But what I am going to say is make sure that you're figuring out your financial path right now. And like, for example, if you're driving a car that somebody is letting you drive, like, do you own that vehicle or not? If someone claims you can live with them, like, do you have like a lease set up? Some of you, like, I mean, I'm telling you, parents are just like kicking you out or this or that. It's like, what is the guideline there? What's the term? Look at this in the right way, because some people are just kind of snapping. And this guy like had this energy of like a Dr. Phil, like he thought he was doing the right thing, but it was really, really shitty. Yeah, I got that Queen of Wands with the Sun, but the Empress reversed. They feel like you're drama. So what are they going to do? Pull money. And they have every right to. And again, you need to focus on your finances. But that Devil card here, this person is spiritually bankrupt. Okay, they don't want to look at their past. They don't want to take any accountability for the lessons they were supposed to teach or not teach. They don't want to look at what they went through. And you need to be mindful here. They claim to love you, but then we have this devil energy that's very impulsive. Like, I'm just doing it now. Fuck it. I'm done with them. And not looking back. For some of you, maybe you have children or you get pregnant. They could do this to you as well. And again, this mother figure, I want to point out, completely no backbone whatsoever. Every choice was made by the person she was tied to. She had no autonomy. And so with that 8 of Wands reverse, like I would slow down and reflect here and ask where you really want to be, because you have a new beginning with spirit. And that's what I was telling this girl in the dream. But I would not venture back to people like that who think the way to get you to conform, because then what they do is they try to take credit, right? If you come back saying you're sorry, they take credit. See, I knew they were the problem. If you go level up and you get your shit together, they say, see, they wouldn't have done it had I not kicked them out. That's like selfish narcissism. Like, you can't win there. There's no real love there. It's fake. But they think it's loving. So just FYI.